In the quiet lands of northern Thailand, where mountains stand guard over the land, a group of young soccer players known as the Wild Boars ventured into Luang cave. It was June 23, 2018. The cave, famous for its vast network of tunnels, was a favorite spot for adventure, but known for its dangers too. The team, made up of 12 boys, young and full of dreams, ranged from 11 to 16 years old. They were led by their coach, a 25-year-old man who was not just a mentor, but also a guide in the challenges of life. After a lively soccer practice, the group decided to explore the cave, a trip meant to strengthen their bond and to celebrate a teammate's birthday. As they entered the cave, laughter and excitement filled the air. The cave's entrance was wide and welcoming, but as they moved deeper, the narrow passages whispered of the secrets they held. The boys were thrilled, their lights cutting through the darkness, revealing the beauty of the cave's stalactites and stalagmites. Unknown to them, outside the cave, the weather had taken a drastic turn. Dark clouds gathered and a heavy rain began to fall, a common but perilous occurrence during Thailand's monsoon season. As the heavens opened, water began to rush into the cave's many channels. Inside, the boys continued deeper, unaware of the danger mounting at the entrance. It wasn't long before they realized their path back was going to be blocked. The rising water was swift and unforgiving. With no way to go back, panic began to set in. The coach, quick to realize the severity of their situation, urged the boys to move to higher ground within the cave. They found a small ledge above the water level and huddled together. The coach, who once lived as a monk, taught them to meditate, helping them to remain calm in the face of fear. They conserved their energy, sharing stories and dreams to distract themselves from their growing hunger and the cold. Meanwhile, outside, the boys' absence had gone noticed. When they did not return home, families became worried. Soon a search party was formed. Local authorities, cave experts, and community members gathered at the cave's entrance, their faces marked with concern. As the first day turned into night, the cave's entrance was a flurry of activity. The rescue operations was about to begin, with people from all over the region coming together, ready to brave the depths and find the missing team. As the night deepened, the heavy rain continued to fall outside, turning streams into rivers and filling the cave with cold, murky water. Back in the cave, the boys and their coach sat on a small ledge, the sound of rushing water echoing all around them. They tried to sleep, but fear and the chill of the cave kept them awake. By morning, the entrance to the cave had turned into a command center. News of the missing soccer team had spread, and experts had been coming from around Thailand and other countries began to arrive. They brought with them diving gear, pumps to remove water, and food supplies. The local community helped too, bringing food for the rescuers and praying for the boys' safe return. The rescue team faced a massive challenge. The cave was mostly flooded, and the rain wasn't stopping. Divers entered the cold water, navigating through narrow passages and twisted and turned deep into the earth. The water was so muddy they could barely see, and the strong currents made it dangerous. Back inside the cave, the coach kept the boys calm. He taught them to use meditation to conserve energy and to stay hopeful. They talked about what they had missed the most: warm meals, their families, and playing soccer. Each boy shared his dreams of the future, and this helped keep their spirits up. Meanwhile, the rescuers worked tirelessly. The divers mapped the cave as they went, looking for any sign of the boys. They placed guide ropes along the way to help them find their way back. It was a slow and risky job, but they knew they couldn't give up. Days passed, and the boys' families waited at the cave's entrance, their hope mingling with fear. Around the world, people followed the news, hoping for a miracle. The rescuers faced many setbacks, equipment failures, rising water levels, and a constant threat of more rain. But they kept working, driven by the thought of bringing the boys home safe. On the 9th day, a break in the weather gave the rescuers a chance to push further into the cave. 2 British divers, experienced in cave rescues, made a breakthrough. They found the boys and their coach on a small ledge, all alive, but weak and scared. The moment the divers saw the boys, one of them asked,
How How many of you? 13.
Yeah, 13.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
The divers messaged back to Command Center. All 13 were found alive. This sent waves of relief and joy through the crowd waiting outside. The families wept and hugged each other, grateful for their children to be alive. But the joy was mixed with the realization that getting the boys out would be even harder than finding them. But the boys were weak and not good swimmers. The rescuers began planning the most dangerous part of the mission, getting each boy out through the underwater passages. They decided to teach the boys basic diving skills. Doctors checked their health and gave them a go-ahead. Each boy could be accompanied by 2 divers, who would guide them through the dark water. They practiced the cave's water, getting ready for the risky journey out. As they prepared, the whole world watched and waited. People sent messages of hope and encouragement. The rescuers knew they had a narrow window of time. More rain was coming, and it could close out the cave completely. The plan was set, and the rescue began. It was a race against time and nature. The first boy, strapped into the diving suit and mask, took a deep breath. With the diver holding each hand, he submerged into the cold, murky water, beginning the perilous journey back to the light. The rescue of the wild boar soccer team was one of the most delicate operations in modern history. Each boy, accompanied by 2 expert divers, had to navigate through the narrow, flooded passages of Luang Cave. The journey from where they were trapped back to the cave's entrance took several hours for each boy. The divers were equipped with full face masks, which allowed the boys to breathe normally underwater. This was crucial because none of the boys were experienced swimmers, let alone divers. The water was cold and muddy, making it almost impossible to see. Each boy had to trust his guides completely as they led him through the tight spaces and deep waters. As each boy was brought out, the world watched and hoped. The operation took place over 3 days. One by one, the boys emerged from the cave, each rescue a nerve-wracking wait for those outside. When a boy came out, he was immediately covered with a blanket and rushed to the waiting ambulance. The ambulances raced to the hospital, where the boys were treated with minor injuries and infections, but were mostly in good health considering their ordeal. The rescue teams worked with precision and care. The Thai Navy SEALs and British cave divers and all the other international teams coordinated flawlessly. It was a testament to their training and dedication. Despite the danger, there was only one tragedy. A former Thai Navy SEAL, 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧, lost his life while placing oxygen tanks along the rescue route. His sacrifice was a sobering reminder of the risks of rescuing faced. The coach was the last one to leave the cave. When he emerged into the daylight, there was a collective sigh of relief from the crowd waiting outside. The rescue had been a success. The families of the boys, the rescue teams, and the onlookers cheered and cried. It was a moment of joy, mixed with sadness for the brave diver who had died. The boys and their coach spent time in the hospital. They were quarantined for a week to ensure that they didn't have any infectious diseases that could be harmful. Slowly, they began to share their story. They talked about how they survived by drinking water that dropped out from the cave walls, and how their coach helped them stay calm by meditating. The world celebrated their survival and their incredible efforts to the rescue team. The boys became heroes in their own right, symbols of resilience and the human spirit. They received a message of love and support from all over the globe. Months later, the boys returned to their normal lives, but they were forever changed by their experience. They had survived against all odds. A tale of endurance and hope would inspire people for years to come. The Thai government took measures to ensure the safety of the cave and established guidelines for future cave explorations to prevent such incidents. The Tham Luang Cave rescue remains a powerful reminder of what can be achieved when people from different nations and backgrounds come together to face a common challenge. It is a story of humanity, heroism, and the unyielding will to survive.